Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our weekly art-based meditation brought to you by the National Museum of Asian Art. I'm Demi Mohammed, the museum's public programs coordinator, and I'm thankful that you've chosen to take this time to share with us. Whether you are familiar with our practice here at NMAA, or if you're joining us today for the Phillips Collection, we welcome you. Today's meditation will be led by Aparna as we focus on the hanging scroll titled Pigeons at Sensōji, which is currently on display as part of our feathered ink exhibition. This scroll connects us with the current exhibition at the Phillips Collection in Italian Impressionists in Paris, Giuseppe De Nettis, as this scroll was purchased by De Nettis once upon a time. Again, we thank you for joining us, and I'll pass it to Aparna to get us started.
Thank you so much, Demi. Namaste, everybody. Namaste to Kit, and thank you so much for taking this time to be here and to share this art-inspired meditation practice with us today. As Demi shared, this meditation is in conjunction with another exhibition at the Phillips Collection here in Washington, D.C. And this piece is by a Japanese artist, Watanabe Seitei. And I'll show the picture in just a moment. So today's practice will include two parts. The first part will be all about close looking at the work and perspective taking, sort of an empathy building activity. And the second part of this will be a meditation that will be inspired by one of the features in this very subtle and ephemeral sort of, radiant work of art. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share with you a picture, the Asakusa Kannon temple. And right now, just take a look at this resolution to see whatever you can. And then I'll pause so we can take some time to center our attention. We will bring enough practice of embodiment, so then we can slowly and closely look at Pigeons at Sensōji. If you're ready, please find a way to sit comfortably. Maybe shift a little side to side, put a pillow behind your back, anything that allows you to sit upright, while at the same time having the feet grounded, either the feet touching the floor or something underneath. And then gently allow your eyes to close. We are going to be doing a lot of close looking, so it makes sense to give our eyes some visual break for the next few minutes. And notice if you feel a temptation to move or adjust your posture. You can do all of that at this time. Doing any movements, any adjustments intentionally, so they can support stillness in the physical body, and through that, hopefully, stillness in the mind. If for any reason closing your eyes doesn't feel most meditative, you can always choose to lower your gaze or simply try not to analyze what your eyes see. Having slowed down the body, having stilled down our awareness a little bit, let's channelize our attention like a spotlight that is being placed through different parts of the body. Please bring your awareness to any sensations you might notice in your hands. And then intuitively sense the shape of your hands. You can feel the inner volume in your hands where these sensations are. Like if you couldn't move or see your hands, can you still know their presence through this awareness of sensations and inner volume. And let the hands be. Gently guide your attention into your forearms to sense their presence through these sensations and the inner volume. Now move your awareness into your elbows, mirroring the same process of attention now into the upper arms. The shoulders, the chest, upper back, the lower back, the abdomen, hip, feet, thighs, knees, lower legs, feet, the neck, the head, the entire body. Bring your awareness to the sensations and the inner space within the entire body all at once. For the next 3 breaths, just let your awareness scan from the crown to the feet, feet to the crown. So sensing the body along its height. And then sensing left to right, the width of the body. And for a moment, let us visualize or attune to this presence, this physicality, the energetic quality in the space where we are. And when we have cultivated this embodied presence, we may gently open our eyes. Yet again, look at the pigeons at Sensōji. You can take a moment to see whatever your eyes can appreciate at this resolution. We'll be zooming in a moment. Pigeons at Sensōji by Watanabe Seite from the year 1877. Now we'll zoom into this. After all this work, this hanging scroll of ink and color on silk is almost 6 feet. It's about 78 inches, so about 6 feet. long or tall, and about 44 inches wide. So for a moment, can you imagine actually standing in the presence of this scroll when it is being hung? And in that visualization, can you appreciate the prominent shape that is visible at this and the other resolution, this cylindrical columnar structure here? As if the scroll could be hung on a pillar, and that pillar shape is modeled here. Now we'll slowly zoom in to see closely what's going on in this flock of pigeons. So take time to slowly look at each and every pigeon. What is this cylindrical structure that all these pigeons are perched upon? What is inside it? Could it be water? But if it's water, why don't we see splashes of water being painted in this scroll? Or is it all obscured by this hazy, smoky sort of a feeling that is painted all over this part of the scroll, this haziness? And where could all of this be, the smoky atmosphere be coming in from? Where are these clouds of smoke coming from? So let's go on to move our attention around this work to see where else we can locate those clouds of smoke. And as our eyes look for that source, almost magically, we might be able to see this tower-like structure very clearly, which perhaps we may have missed before. Let's take some time to appreciate the details on this one, on this tower. Might start noticing smoky clouds emanating here, suggesting something inside this tower as a source of this smoke. And since we know that it is about a temple, we may infer from that that there is incense inside these towers. These clouds are carrying the fragrance of that incense and filling up this entire space. I will continue to look further down into this scroll. at the base of this cylindrical tower. I can see this one solitary pigeon peeping out of this side of the tower. And then we also see some fallen leaves, like ginkgo leaves. And one of them has changed color, which perhaps hints at the time of the year that is being depicted in this work. We'll now slowly move our attention across. And we see some inscription in gold. Right here, two seals in color red. And now we'll slowly zoom out. And since we have taken this time to slowly look at the pigeons at Sensōji, let's now close our eyes and try to visualize this work in our mind's eye. Now let's open our eyes yet again. Then we'll go on to sort of take a little bit of perspective. Imagine if you were one of the pigeons here and you were looking up. How would the world look to you? Can you imagine that visualization in your mind's eye? And how would that particular perspective shape your own awareness? What would you feel? What would you think about the world? Let that be. Now imagine you're this bird right here. It seems to be landing into whatever fills that big shape, cylindrical shape. Can you imagine yourself to be landing onto a surface? And if so, what would you feel? How would gravity act upon your body? And what would you do to lift up against that? And slowly move your awareness up to imagine being this bird here. you pay attention, you might also notice that this bird is surrounded by this swirl of incense smoke. How would that affect this bird's experience in that moment? And finally, imagine being one of these two pigeons perched on almost the top of this tower. What would the view below look like? Then with that perspective taking be, we will come back to this ornate tower here with lots of details. Let's pay attention to the shape of this tower, just the outline. Then as we sit upright, can we bring awareness to the outline of our own body? Can the top spire of this tower inspire us to reach towards the sky through the crown? Now imagine as you inhale, you're taking in all the goodness of the universe. You may visualize it as maybe golden light coming into this body. And as the body receives this light, this nourishing light with all the goodness of the universe, it also transforms that light, making it its own. You could imagine that your body is transforming this golden light into a light, any color of your choice. Now we'll imagine this golden light from the universe pouring down the crown, flowing into the spine and the backbone, reaching through the spine at the back of the neck, center of the back, all the way down to the base. Imagine this light flowing out as awareness into your whole body. And imagine the body transforming it into that light, the color that you chose. So when you exhale, you can visualize this transformed colored light pumping up through the spine to be released into the world outside. As you breathe in, all the goodness of the universe is coming into your body as golden light. As you breathe out, the transformed light is being released through the crown into the universe. Take exactly 10 more breaths with this awareness of releasing our energy out into the world. As you breathe with this awareness that you're releasing your own energy into this universe, what is that quality you would like to offer to the universe? Or what are those qualities you may want to bring into this world in each breath? And if each of those qualities had a fragrance to them, what would they smell like? Now opening your eyes, look at the tower, releasing the smoke of the incense. Take into account that the smoke is filling up that space where those pigeons are breathing. How do you relate to the work now? And when that practice feels complete, slowly we'll disengage from the work, come back to the body, come back to our presence where we are, and maybe join palms in prayer and close today's practice by first bowing to the light within ourselves, bowing to the transformative potential right here within our body. Maybe bow to the creative energy of the artist that gave us this really luminous work to go in. Maybe bow to the teachings of yoga. And maybe bow to those teachers who've preserved the wisdom in these ancient teachings. And finally, maybe bow to each other, like we're saying, the light in me honors the light in you.